Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is a Monday and it's time for Monday View. We're going to be taking a look at the Woodless colored pencils that were chosen for the week, as well as completing a page in Art Matters by Neil Gaiman and illustrated by Chris Riddell, because of course your imagination can change the world. We've been working on this book now for almost 2 years and we're almost done. We've got a few more pages left to do, and then this will be finished. I think we've got, 12 pages left to do, and then it'll be finished. So the Woodless colored pencils, this is a company called Sevenours or Sevenours. Um, They are no longer available. I did look everywhere for them. This was gifted to me from a dear friend for a Christmas gift a few years ago. There's 24 of the regular Woodless colored pencils, and then of course there's 24 of the skin tones. So there's the dark skin tones, the light skin tones, as well as the regular colors. There's also a small set of metallics, but I don't have the box for those anymore. And this is why I save all my tins, because then I get to have all the information about the pencils. So it comes in a nice metal tin. It is a 7.25 millimeter core. It's high quality pigment, a very rich, thick color, and they color beautifully. The colors that are involved with these two sets plus the metallics I have here. So the regular colors are here. So we've got some whites, some yellows into our orange tones and our peach tones, into our reds, pink. There's only one pink, two purples, three blues. It's got a wide selection of greens, from our blue greens to our deep green. And then into our browns, our grays. And then we go into our metallics here. So we've got rose, lavender, copper pink, copper, blue, emerald, sea mist, aquamarine, champagne, gold, silver, and carbon fiber. Now I use those in with the rest of the pencils because even though they're metallic, they don't have a huge shine on them. So it actually does work very well to use them with everything else. And then we've got our light skin tones here. So we've got light skin, pearl white, orange yellow, dark skin, pink. Now the two pinks are really close together, but there is a slight difference between them. Light pink, light slate red, deep wine, brownish black, yellow brown, saddle brown, light lemon yellow, and then in the dark skin tones we have white, light earth yellow, ginger, earth yellow, skin, pale skin, wine, slate red, dark brown, dark blue, ochre, and dark orange. Now the only color that really duplicates with name is the pink. Duplicates between the light skin tone and the regular pencils, but the color is slightly different. So those are the colors that you would get if you have these pencils. Like I said, I did look through Amazon and I could not find them. I did a Google search for the name and I still couldn't find them. So if you're able to locate these pencils, let me know. I would like to be able to put a link to the pencils for people to find them. They are a really good pencil. I was a little bit leery on coloring book paper with them. I've only ever really colored on this paper here, which is just a really cheap swatch book paper. And I haven't colored with them in a very long time, so I didn't know how well they were going to do. Um, I have found that they do very well. They are really, really well pigmented, easy to blend, and they layer beautifully. So that is the basics of what these pencils are. They are a 7.25 millimeter core. They have a high quality pigment for rich color saturation. Um, they have great blending and shading. There's not a whole lot I can tell you about these pencils. I'm not going to test them because they don't they're not around. So testing them that would be a little um, redundant, I guess. I have done a proper review of these pencils when I got them a few years ago. I don't know if it's still listed. I'll have to take a look and maybe post the link to the review. They're, of course, made without wood. They have absolutely no wood surrounding them, but they do have 4 layers of paper that does give you that resistance to breakage, and it makes it feel better on your hands as well, I feel. They are 5 times the thickness of a regular wood colored pencil because they are just the core. So you get a good amount of core there, and they don't diminish as quickly. And they're great for working in large areas because you don't have to have them fully sharpened to a point to color with them. So I'm going to pull out one here and hopefully you can see. So they do have the color combination there. So the Palatone colors there, the color name and that sort of thing. So, and like I said, they are a really thick core with a good amount of paper around them. So breakage is very difficult. And if they do break, you don't have to worry about it. You just basically have 2 smaller pencils. Um, there is no wood around it, so you can use one part of the pencil for doing your backgrounds and the other part of the pencil for coloring with. They do sharpen in a regular sharpener very nicely. They do, the paper sharpens and everything else. So let's see, I'll take this one here since it's out. So it just goes into the smaller sharpen area on my Staedtler here. And like I said, it sharpens beautifully. A wonderful, really, really sharp point. The paper sharpened down with it, so nothing to worry about there. And you don't have to sharpen them to a sharp point if you don't want them sharpened to a sharp point. You can leave them dull to cover larger areas or to use for blending and that sort of thing. All right, so let's get started on our Art Matters. This is the page that we're going to be doing. And there it is. And it says, the things I've done that worked the best were things I was the least certain about. The stories where I was sure they would either work or more likely be the kinds of embarrassing failures people would gather together and talk about until the end of time. They always had that in common. Looking back at them, people explain why they were inevitable successes. While I was doing them, I had no idea. I still don't. And where would be that the fun in making something you knew was going to work? Okay, so I completely butchered that. So I'm going to read it again and hopefully I understand it better. The things I've done that worked the best were things I was the least certain about. The stories where I was sure they would either work or more likely be the kind of embarrassing failures people would gather together and talk about until the end of time. They always had that in common. Looking back at them, people explain why they were inevitable successes while I was doing them. I had no idea. I still don't. And where would be the fun in making something you knew was going to work? So basically what he's saying there is sometimes um, when you feel that you're messing up or you don't think that it's going to be a success, but you're having fun doing it. 9 times out of 10, that's more successful than something that you think is exactly what people want and that you believe is going to be successful. I'm going to zoom you in and we're going to color this wonderful little page that looks like a angel flying through the stars, either an angel or a fairy. I'm going to color it as a fairy because I like fairies, although it is the time of season for angels. So either which way, we will have fun doing it and it will turn out beautifully. So let's do it as an angel. Let's start with some gold. So this is, and the metallic pencils are called Pacific Arc, just so everybody knows. And with the Pacific Arc, they have the color name down here at the base. And sooner or later, that's going to start, you know, sharpening off. They do have little slits in their paper, so you can easily peel that off before you sharpen if you find that the paper is gumming up your sharpener. So if you want to look for them, you can. Again, I don't know where you could find them. I did look on Amazon, and if you are able to find them on Amazon, let me know. Because obviously I was not able to, but somebody else might be able to. So I'm just going through with the gold on her wings here, and then we'll take a deeper golden color called champagne, and we will fill that in the darkest of areas. All right, and then we've got this one here. Just going to come into the words a little bit, coloring in between them where I think the wings would be. The artist of this book, of course, is Chris Riddell. And I'm going to come back behind here with a really light color because it looks like the angel's dress is a little see-through. So I'm going to make sure that you can see that wing back behind her dress there. And Chris Riddell is a wonderful artist that did the 100 Hugs that I colored a while ago. And I'm just looking for the champagne. There it is. And, he is a wonderful artist. And when I was given this book, I was challenged to color the whole book by the gifter, which was Miss Ashley Colors. And that's why we've been doing Art Matters for 2 years. Now, we will not be continuing Art Matters next year. It is almost done, and I will continue it for the rest of this month, except for the days that I'm going to take off for holidays. And other than that, I will continue it on my own until it's all done. I will do a full flip through as once it's finished. So you guys will see it before it disappears back to Ashley. For all of you that are following along and coloring the art matters with me, thank you so much for joining me in this book. Um, it's a wonderful book. I've actually almost finished another book this year as well. So I will be finishing that one as well, probably while I'm away, if I have time. And that's the Peter Rabbit book. I started it on another channel that I was on 3 years ago. It's been that long. And I got discouraged by it and put it aside. And somebody asked me to finish it. So I figure I will finish it. All right, so there's her wings. Now we're going to grab some skin tones here. So we're going to grab dark skin and skin. The dark skin, we're going to come through in the shadowy areas. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I can zoom it in a little bit closer maybe so that you can see a little bit better. Just a little bit better. And then I can move it back down a little bit so that I'm not having to strain to get to the page because I'm short. And that was pushed quite a ways away from me. Now this is reading paper. It is not coloring paper. So if you do purchase this book, just remember that the paper is reading paper, and you may find that it doesn't take a lot of color layers. So if you're a layering person and you push a little bit too hard on your pencil, you may find that it only takes 1 or 2 layers of color. And that's why I always start with the dark color, because it's easier to layer on top of dark color with a light color than it is to layer on a light color. So if you want to do a light layer on top of the dark color, it's a little bit easier to blend that in. So now I'm using skin. It's been fun coloring each of these pages with different colored pencils as well. It gives you an idea of what the different pencils have ability to do. And I think it went a little bit more color on her face. There we go. Now we're going to do her dress, and we're going to use this pale green. So this is gemstone green, and it's a nice turquoisey pale green. And we're just going to do the heavy areas. So the areas where they're folded, where that dress is going to be more layers. and showing more color because of the fact that this is a bit of a see-through dress. It has some transparency to it. So we're going to make sure that we don't overcolor it. And we're going to allow it to have that transparency. Like so. Right. And I think that's where we want that to be. And now for her hair, we're going to use tan. And a little bit of brownish black. Like that. Now for the parchment there, down here at the bottom there's some parchments. We're going to take ginger. Like so. And then we're going to take this one here, which is light lemon yellow. Almost a cream tone. All right, like that. And then for the background areas where there's stars and that sort of thing, we're going to take this one for our stars, which is a light yellow. And of course, these are not drawn in a way that gives more of an ability to color them. And these were drawn for them to be the way they are. So if you find that there's not a lot of detail, or the detail is already shaded in and that sort of thing, it's because this book was not drawn to have color added. So we're adding color to it, even if it's not meant to have that color added. And I forgot to move the paper. So another thing that I will mention with this book is try to remember to put the paper behind your coloring. So as you can see here, I didn't do that, and all of this transferred. So I'll have to take an eraser and erase all of that. Transfer color. I just throw that any old where. I just dropped my clip on the floor. Just 1 second. There we go. Now I moved that clip because there was a star up here I needed to get to. All right, I think that is all of the stars. Now for the wind, we're going to take this silver color. Actually, let's take a silvery blue kind of color. Maybe this one. What's this one? This one is Sea Mist. Good enough. Which is a bluey green kind of color. Which does work well with her dress. Of course, with the metallic in it, it gives it a little bit of a silver tone to it, which tones down that color quite a bit. And of course, it's a green gray, so you know it's one of my favorites. I really like my green grays, I'm just saying. And I know wind has no color, but mist does and fog does. So it has the color of whatever it's reflecting. All right, we're almost done with the mist here. There we go. And there's our mist. Let's throw a little bit more in here. And I'm just putting the darker areas where the lines are. I'm using a really light hand for the rest of it. And then we're going to take our black and we're going to try to fill in the other areas just really loosely to give us that background. Oh, sorry. Lost track of where I was. So I'm just going around the stars, around the mist. And I'm using a really light hand on the black, which gives us a bit of a gray kind of color. But where it's really deep into the page, I'll darken that up a little, where some of that starlight isn't reflecting off of the mist. And of course the angel is celestial or whatnot, so she's going to have that glow a lot more. So doing a very light hand around the angel with the sky does give us that glow appearance. And again, this paper is not the best for coloring, so you may see some strokes or some inconsistencies in your color. And it's just the type of paper that it is in the book. So it's a little bit less than the basic Amazon paper, let's just say. All right. Okay, and once I get the detail areas here finished up, I'll show you another way of using these pencils. Just blending into that mist area here. Coming off of her feet. And then down into the pages. Now, one of the great things about a woodless pencil is the fact that you don't have any wood shavings in your pencil shavings. It's just pigment. So if you have a small pencil sharpener or a sharpener that captures all of your shavings, you can actually take those wooden shavings and use them to cover large areas for, say, a background or that sort of thing. Just either with picking them up with your finger and rubbing them around or using a dauber or anything like that. And as we get further away from her, more into the upper area there, I will show you how I do that. I don't do it very often, so if it looks like a mess, I'm sorry. It's not meant to. Like I said, I'm not perfect at anything, so sometimes you just gotta make a mess to figure it out. I have seen so many people do it and make it absolutely gorgeous, and I will probably mess it up. Just saying. All right. And because I want that to be very light, especially around the words, it gives you the ability to do that and control how much pigment's going on the page a little more than just with the tip of the pencil. And that way you don't waste any. Waste not, want not. And now that I know that these pencils are a little bit more difficult to get a hold of than they used to be, I worry about using them up and knowing that with the larger areas like backgrounds and stuff like that, I don't need to use the tip of the pencil. I can use the shavings and the debris from creating the tip of the pencil. So all right. Okay, so I'm going to take my small sharpener, if I can find one. What's in this one? Nope, that's got stuff in it. I know I have some empty ones around here somewhere. Got so many different sharpeners. None of them what I want. It's always the way. I didn't think of it beforehand and I should have. Alright, I know I've got them here close by. That's erasers. That's daubers. That will work. I need one of those. Well, let's take this one. I need one of those. And then this one is also daubers. Where are all my sharpeners? Alright, so instead we're just going to take this one and empty it. And that way we can just use this one. Be right back. I'm just going to empty this out. Blow all the dust out of it. Okay, so empty sharpener. And then we're going to sharpen the black in here. And then we're going to take our dauber and a lid. Let's grab this lid. No, it's got stuff on it. Let's grab this one. That's better. So we've got the lid, our sharpener with our bits in it. Open it very carefully. And as you can see down there in the bottom, all you have is the bits. You have all the shavings. So we're going to dump those out. Make sure that we don't have any wood from the previous ones in there. I'll throw that in there. So that was just from the previous pencil that was in the sharpener. Move that out of the way. So as you can see, all you have here is wood. You just take your dauber and you put that there, like that. And then you can just take that and fill in the areas. Now another way that you can do that is dump that directly on your page. So as you can see, it's all over the page here. And you just take your dauber and you just rub it around. Go darker in areas that I want it to be darker, lighter in areas I don't. And this is the great thing about the woodless color pencils. And as long as you don't pop the page like I just did, it pretty much stays contained in the areas that you want it to be in. Okay, now I'm going to dump that off. Now you can just take your page and you can just do this into there, and there you have your background finished. Just going to take a little bit more in this area here, like so. Now I'm going to zoom you out so you can see the whole thing. I'm just going to brush that off. All right. And zoomy zoom. So there we have our little angel flying through the imaginations. Now, next week I will do one on my own because the next Monday is going to be Christmas. So I will do this one on my own and I will show you on the last Monday of the month. And it says, and sometimes the things I did really didn't work. There are stories of mine that have never been reprinted. Some of them never even left the house. But I learned as much from them as I did from the things that worked. So this one here, the little monster creature thing that he created that never left the house, I will color on my own. And then this one here, I think we can probably do these 3 pages together on the last Monday because they're very, very quick. And then that leaves me 2 or 3 pages, maybe more, of coloring on my own to finish this book. And of course, this is Art Matters by Neil Gaiman. The artistry in the book is done by Chris Riddell. Chris Riddell is the artist that did the 100 Hugs book that I colored in for 100 days, doing 100 days of hugs. All right, guys, with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. This is the Monday view for the woodless colored pencils. Again, the company name for these pencils is not on the front of the box. It just says woodless colored pencils. After a little bit of research as well as reading through, I did find that it is the Sevenours pencil set, or Sevenours pencil sets. I did not find these anywhere on the internet. So if you are able to find the woodless colored pencils from this company and find a place where you can purchase them, let me know so that I can post a link to the pencils themselves. All right, guys, with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. Of course, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. And of course, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and I will see you all tonight. Bye-bye for now.